Welcome to a series of videos called English for Emerson. I'm in a brand new spot today. Now I've driven across the whole country last week and now I'm in Wilsonville, Oregon. Beautiful spot here. And I have to tell you, it was a long drive. 3,000 miles. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, now we're back with more lessons on conversational English. This channel lately has been all about having a basic conversation with another person. We've been to the restaurant. We've talked about what's your favorite movie, what's your favorite, sports, your favorite athlete, all these kind of questions. Because, if you really think about it, most of life is about our relationships with other people when you get right down to it. And it's kind of sad because they've done a bunch of research on this, that people have less social relations now at the current time in this world, 2025. We have less social relations with other people than we've ever had in the history of humanity at any time. Like, for example, they do all this research. I don't know who does this kind of stuff. And I know on this channel you have to deal with these lectures, but I'll be done soon, so just bear with me. But they do research. That's where scientists go out and study people. Like, what do you do when you get up in the morning? Then what do you do after that? And then what do you do for lunch? And what do you do for dinner? And then what do you do before you go to bed? They ask people all these questions, and people fill out little papers and explain what they do in their life, and they compile all this data, all this information, and then they turn out these reports about what are people doing with their lives. And they've found that most people now don't eat breakfast together in the morning with other people. They don't eat usually their lunch with other people. They don't eat dinner with their family. They kind of go to their own room and watch TV or play video games or whatever. And they found that there's a lot of people now in this world who don't talk to another person the whole entire day. They live alone. Maybe they have a job where they're on the computer all day, typing up some information. I don't know what they do. Or maybe they're retired. Retired means you don't work anymore. And then they order their food on the computer or on their phone. They order what they need from the store and it's delivered. They say, leave it at the door. Don't knock. Don't knock. Leave it at the door. And then they pay their bills, like you have to pay for your electricity, your gas, your phone. You do all that. You pay it all on the computer or you pay it on your phone. And then they cook their food alone, and then they eat, and then they go to bed. A lot of people now, they don't have a single conversation with another person all day, and if they do, it's on the phone, texting. You see a lot of people now, and I'll be done soon, don't worry, but they have headphones on everywhere they go, or they have those little white things in their ears called an earbud, and they're listening to something on their phone while they're walking around. Even in the middle of the city. Like, I've gone to lots of cities, and when you walk around, most people have earphones on or they have those things in their ears, and they're talking to people. They're talking, but they're talking to somebody someplace else. But they're surrounded by people, but they're not talking to them. They're talking to somebody else. And it's almost become like a thing. But I want to talk about this before I start with the lesson, because think about this. Imagine that you went into the woods and you were watching the squirrels, or you were watching the deer, or you were watching the birds. And imagine if a deer walked by and it had headphones on. Or imagine if you're watching a couple of squirrels and they're ignoring each other, and they had white things in their ears and they were listening to squirrels that were someplace else. You'd be like, what is going on? This is strange. Or the birds, they're just flying by each other with headphones on. They're not paying any attention. It would be a strange sight, wouldn't it? I think it'd be a strange sight. Well, if you think about it, watching someone in the middle of a city of people with headphones on, just walking around, ignoring everybody around them, is kind of strange if you get right down to it. It's kind of strange. And in the whole course of all of human history, people they depended on the people around them to survive. You couldn't just survive in this world 1,000 years ago by yourself. You would have died. You had to know your neighbors. You had to interact with them to get food, and when you went and did your laundry, and to get shoes, and to have your house built or have repairs done, you had to know people. Nowadays, it's different. It's really different. So I think it's a strange time to be alive because we have so many more people on planet Earth. There's 8 billion now, but there's so many people who don't know their neighbors. They don't talk to anybody. And so it's becoming an interesting thing. If you just walk up to somebody now and you just say, "Hey, hi, how are you doing? What's your name?" They'll look at you like, It's almost like there's something that people are sometimes even get offended. That's happened to me. I was like, "How you doing?" Why, do I know you? Why are you talking to me? Sorry. It's getting where people have fewer social skills. And it's becoming something where if you really know how to talk to people, that's almost becoming the rarest skill there is. If you can get along with people. People have a heck of a time because we don't really teach how to interact with each other in a productive way. People are getting more isolated. So on this channel lately, we've been doing conversational English. And if you want to get along with other people, for most people, and it's getting more rare as people get more isolated. But the best way to get in a conversation and get friendly with people is to come up to them and ask them a few questions about themselves. "Hi there, how you doing? What's your name?" One of the questions you can ask that's helpful to get to know somebody is, "What do you do for fun?" That's what we're doing today. What do you do for fun? Here we go. Starts with a W. Starting at the top. Well, that is not right. That pen is running out of ink. When this lesson's over, I gotta throw this one in the garbage. I can tell it's drying out. Okay, so we start at the top. We're going down through the midline, down to the bottom, then back up. Maybe a little above the midline, somewhere in here. Back down. There we go. Well, it's starting to flow a little better. W. What? The next letter is an H. Straight down, one hill, and down. What do you like to do for fun? Now, the sound can be made by a lot of different letters, but in this case, it's going to be made by a lowercase a. I'm starting that off like a lowercase c. Then I make a line down from the midline down to the bottom line like that. What? What? Do you hear the T? I do. I hear it. What? Just below the top line. I don't start all the way at the top. I just go a little bit below it, then a crossbar at the midline. What? Do. Do you hear the first letter of do? I hear it. It's a D. We start it like a lowercase c. And then we go to the top line, straight down. And then O. In this case, the lowercase o makes the sound oo. You'd think it would say do, but it doesn't. It says do. What do you? Starts with a lowercase y. From the midline down to the bottom. And then This is an interesting letter because this one's going to go below the bottom line. Notice that all these letters stop at the bottom line, but the Y goes below it. What do you, the U is Y-O-U, spells you. O, and then U. Good. Now you'll notice that all my lowercase letters, most of them anyway, stop. Or they're just from the midline down to the bottom line. You see that? I don't have anything going on up here. Once in a while, one of those lowercase letters sneaks up there, like the D or the T. Most of them, they don't come up here. What do you like? What letter is going to begin that word, like? La 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 la. I hear an L. La. Straight line down. Easy one. I'm on my set of lines here now. Like is good. You hear the next letter out a bit. I bet you can hear it. Like. I hear the I. Straight down from the midline to the bottom, and then a dot above the midline. Now, listen for the next one. Like. Do you hear the K? I hear it. Then we do the arm, and then we do the leg. Like. Now, this is a word that uses that strange thing called the silent E. The silent E is very common in English. This E does not make a sound. It's not, this word is not likey. No, 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 no. It's like the E at the end of the word. Why is it silent? Because there's another vowel in that word before it, and that is an I right there. There's vowels in the English language which are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes a Y. It's 5.5 of them. There's some guy out here making a bunch of noise. They're always making noises out here. He's coming by. I don't like it. Like. What do you like to do? Anyway, before I move on from that, I lost my train of thought. If there's a vowel in the word before an E, and the E is at the end, that E is silent. We go over that in every lesson. How do you say this? You say like. You don't say likey. The E is silent. What do you like to? I can hear the T. To is going to be T-O. Isn't it interesting? To and do. The O's there both make the same sound. Ooh. It's not toe, it's to. What do you like to do? What do you like to do? There's two do's. Ha-ha! What do you like to do for F O R? Do you hear that? The R at the end. For. And now fun. Think about how to spell that word fun. I hear the F to start it. Now think of what the next one would be. Fun. This is good. This could be made with a lot of different letters. This is going to be made with a U. And then think about what do you think goes for the last letter? Fun. Fun. Do you hear the N? I hear it. I do. There we go. What do you like to do for fun? Question mark. Well, most people, and it's changing as society changes. A lot of people now are getting to the point where they're offended if you ask them anything. But most people, still more than half, like to talk about themselves a little bit. Most people, if you really get to talking to them a little bit, they like to talk about themselves. And if you ask them, what do you like to do for fun? Most people will say, actually, that's a good question. I like to go to the movies. I like to play basketball. I like to go mountain climbing. I like to go on vacation. Some people will say, I like to go out to restaurants. I like to go out to pizza. People have all kinds of things that they like to do for fun. In our next lesson, we're going to answer this question, what do you like to do for fun? So I want you to think about it, because I want to know what you want to do for fun. What do you like to do for fun? We'll talk about it next time on English for Emerson. Bye-bye.